I just got back from watching the Odyssey and I have to say something shocking. This movie is amazing. I know, insane. This is, in my professional opinion, one of the best Christopher Nolan movies and a great adaptation of the original mythical story of the Odyssey by Homer. This movie isn't perfect, but this film better win a lot of awards at the Oscars, as it is by far one of the best movies I've seen this year. Without any more yapping, I will get into it. Also, spoiler warning, of course. If you get spoiled, well, that's your fault. The most important part of any movie is the characters, obviously. And this movie has amazing characters, with a few minor, undercooked ones. First, the protagonist, of course, Odysseus. Oh, wait, hold up, I'm gonna get it right. Odysseus. Yeah. He makes an amazing protagonist. His whole journey and all his regret he has all built along the way is all put together so well in the end. And he's kind of like the highlight of all the characters. He's really good. You should see the movie. He's peak. The story is pretty much centered around what happened to him after his encounter with the Cyclops, Witch, the Dead, etc. And of course after the Battle of Troy. And you can see how he's mentally sort of got down. And you kind of get an idea of how much he was respected in the present day and back then. So yeah, he's somewhat quiet, but is still a really complex character. Then we got the protagonists, Telemachus and Penelope. If I say any of them wrong, well, that's my fault. Why can't they just be called Joe or something? Tom Holland and Anthony Hathaway for each of them. Tom Holland did just an okay job. He did do a pretty good job in showing his arrogance, but is also kind of just a bit emotionless in some scenes. I'd say Penelope was actually a really good character. Her commanding presence is great. Her internal conflict of being without Odysseus, is great. And yeah, I just think she did a pretty good job. Now we got the antagonist, who is Antonius, who, even though he is kind of a fraud, was still amazing. Robert Pattinson did great in Batman and is great in here. He perfectly conveys the slimy nature of him, and he kind of shows his greed and his backstory and how with his brother. Pretty good. But side characters are great as well. Odysseus' men were great. You felt bad for them after they all just got slaughtered every single time, and they worked well. They weren't dumb, and you kind of felt for them. The present day characters are also good. They kind of symbolized the fall and the chaotic nature of it. If the king leaves and that stuff. Emu guy, the old man, basically, he was a pretty good character. I actually felt really bad for his dogs and the major abuse he was put in, and yeah, he was great. Lastly, we can't forget about the goat, Agamemnon. His presence was great, and his backstory of killing his child and then getting killed by his wife after returning was kind of crazy and a pretty good plot twist. Overall, the characters are great in this film. Now the actual story. This is where the Odyssey is great, as it is a real journey. First of all, I have to say, for being a 3-hour movie, this film is really well paced. No scenes feel dragged or rushed. Okay, I'll have to say, the end was a bit dragged. Bro, why couldn't you just tell us why? But it's not that hard. The Battle of Tron was amazing. Yeah, obviously, pretty cool. And we spent a lot of time in lots of the main areas, the Cyclops Cave, the area with the last Draconians. I only know them because I saw them in a short. As the pacing, I heard of the name in a short. As the pacing went, we saw the amazing development of Odysseus. Him continuing to regret all his decisions and in the end causing the death of all his men was sad. His men still staying focused and believing they would make it home was also pretty sad, as we knew that none of them actually made it. The plot is also great in this film. And we see how it's in the present day with absence of the king, and I wonder what will happen. And then, we slowly uncover all his backstory and how it went to that position. And, we saw all the wars, the Battle of Tron, and, you kind of get a good idea of how it was for, a fictional universe. There are also like lots of great sequences, as mentioned, such as the Cyclops cave, which was tense. I have to say, this movie has a lot of tense scenes compared to lots of others I've seen. Like being stuck in a cave with a giant being 30 times larger than you and could just like casually eat you is crazy. Also the area with West Dragonians, the underworld, the witch's place, and the scenes on the boat were all like pretty good and unique from each other with creative twists. The story does take heavy inspiration from the original story, but it still has a lot of new different aspects that Christopher Nolan made. There was a reason this film was filmed with IMAX cameras. If not, this would look nowhere near as good as it does now. The film is absolutely stunning, and dare I say, rivals Interstellar, and could potentially be Christopher Nolan's best looking film. Shots like the Battle of Tron, the scenes of them pulling the horse, scenes on the boat, like it just all looks really good, and the cinematography is wild. This is also helped with amazing design characters. They're not that accurate, but you know, they're really good. Like, they have sick helmets, and like, of course, the main example is the Orphan himself, the goat, Agamemnon. Even the design of the Cyclops, I'm not gonna say it again, but like the big soldiers, the witch, and the witch turning the soldiers into pigs was disgustingly great. The soundtrack is also crazy. The Cyclops scream was louder than anything I have ever heard in cinema. It's crazy. It was so loud and bad sounding, but then that's kind of what made it good, to be honest. Also, the loud waves crashing and everything just sounded amazing in its film. Like, it's really good. This really helped with the world building, which was amazing. Every island or place just looked really great, and this film just looks beautiful in general. In conclusion, this film is amazing, like crazy good. I'm not sure if this is recency bias, but this is a top 3 movie for me and my second favorite Christopher Nolan movie. You can kind of infer from me that yeah, this movie is amazing, but Interstellar is still better. Actually, you have no idea, but it's really close. I will give this movie an 9.5 out of 10 plus. I would highly recommend this movie, and by far the best movie of this year. Actually, Project Hail Mary was close. That is all. Remember to subscribe if you enjoyed the movie, and see ya.